Hello, me in a year. If you don't know what this is, I record one of these each year, and I've been doing it now for 5 years. I guess this will be the fifth one. I started in 2020, and every year since then, roughly in the January time, I've recorded one of these to document where I was at with my life and especially my YouTube. What I'm going to be doing in the future, the analytics and changes that I've made throughout the time, and overall to showcase how I change as the years progress. I've rebranded my channel completely. So the last one was almost 12 months ago, so almost a year ago. It was about 11 months ago. And then you got the one in 2022, one in 2021, and 2020. I've actually privated a lot of my videos. I used to do shorts, but I completely rebranded my channel. Now, 50 videos, almost starting from scratch. As you can see, the oldest video I have was a little more than 3 years ago, but mainly within the past year is where I've really been starting to develop my style, my articulation. And I've learned a lot of things, and I'll tell you a few of them throughout this time. I'm also going to explain my plan and a few other things throughout this video. So if we go to look at my most popular videos, 400, almost 200, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. So it's pretty good. 8 videos with over 100 views. It's definitely in a start to where I have envisioned. I'm going to have over 20,000 subscribers by this time next year. I can imagine looking at you and looking at my screen and seeing these popular videos with tens of thousands of views, helping many people around the world with a different sort of, I guess, topics, things, and you'll see what I'm getting into. Up a lot of stuff planned. I'll also be making multiple five figures a month by that point. Last year, I made $0 online. I just first started kind of getting into business. I tried this like cash out group thing. I may or may not have talked about it in my previous year's video. I did anything you could imagine. I've tried agency. I've tried day trading. I've tried a lot of things. And up until recently, I didn't see very much success with it. But I've been wanting to document, that's why I have been, the changes in which I have made throughout the past years. Now, for the past 5 months in a row, so we're talking September, October, November, December, and January. I've made consistent income with the business that I'm doing now, which is sort of a link to my YouTube, right? I go through there, and just to be straight up with you, I sell a sort of coaching and consulting program to help beginner entrepreneurs or really anybody to learn how to learn efficiently. And I teach them these kinds of things so that I can help them build the mindset and systems in their life that's needed to start making consistent income online. I could have a completely different product by the point of next year, but I do have it completely laid out to make multiple six figures. This July, I'll be hosting a specific thing. I'm not going to go into the super details, but it's going to be, it's going to make me at least 30, 40, maybe even $50,000. And I cannot wait. Now, you guys will be able to see this journey with me. That's why I wanted to start now. And as I've changed this, my mission is to make sure you live to your fullest potential and create the life of your dreams. So if you stick by and learn from my content, I am going to guarantee that you will see some crazy results. So this is to showcase my video last year. I've surprisingly changed a lot. The way I speak, the way I articulate myself, I guess that's the same thing. But point is I've changed a lot. It's just the way I carry myself, and I noticed a lot of things. And that's because this year, or I guess in the past year, I have changed the most drastically than I ever have. went from just flipping from random business model to business model, as you can see, making like Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate YouTube shorts. Yeah, I had a little over a million views, 1,300 subs, whatever. But it wasn't really doing much for me. Those subscribers, and I still have some of them, I've gained about 200 since then. But the subscribers before, they weren't there for me. Nor were the views. I had hundreds of thousands of views on those videos, but it isn't worth it in the long term. And I want to tell you that as well. You want to do something that is scalable and it makes sense for you and your brand. Building a personal brand is one of the best things that you can do in 2024. How do you do that? What you do is you start creating content, and then this content will be based around things that you have learned and just overall yourself. That's why it's called personal brand. Personal branding, yeah, some people might think it's a little risky, but I would disagree, because if you stand strong and opinionated and you stay to your true intent, even if somebody may have a bad thing to say about you or somebody might not want to work with you, that doesn't matter, because you don't really want to work with them anyways, as that wouldn't be one fulfilling, but not just fulfilling, it wouldn't get you good results. So what's the point in hiding your true intentions just so that way you can do something to feel like make a little bit of money, whatever. You got drop shipping, you got Amazon FBA. I mean, I've tried all of those things. Trust me, made a drop shipping store. Well, tried. Didn't make much money off of it. Made a couple $100 off of this, doing like kind of like cash out groups. Basically, you resell products, all that stuff. Then I finally changed. I invested into myself, and I remember the feeling of like, this is it. This is what I'm going to be doing. And this is the last straw. I broke that. Finally, I got through. Of course, it wasn't all like sunshine and rainbows. But then just a few months later, I started making consistent income online. I didn't have to work the specific job. And by the way, just to cut off my own self and story, I was only 15 at the time of that recording, and now I'm only 16. Yet I feel like I've drastically changed. I've gone through 4, 5, 6 years of experience just since the recording of this last video. So as you can see right there, now let's actually go into my YouTube analytics. They have changed, but not drastically. For example, 1.367 million views last year. Last year it was 1.164. The watch time was 6,081. Subscribers 1,379. Watch time 7249. Subscribers 1,546. Yet a lot of these top videos are videos that I completely privated on my channel, and now I've changed up what I am doing and the type of content that I make. And I believe truthfully that if you do that and but if you, this is the harder route, right? The harder route is to make content about yourself. Genuinely, you have to be creative and you have to implement crazy systems, be super dedicated to what you do. And the only way you can do that is by being able to control the specific inputs you have and control the outputs that you have, right? I've found it super useful to then put myself in situations and environments that make it so the inputs, so an input is, remember, like input output, like in science you have a certain input, and or like in math it's input output, right? Well, I've found it to be really useful to put myself in environments that have inputs that genuinely benefit my progress, so I can build a mindset that 100% benefits me in the long term, right? Because I don't want to just like, sit around, get some progress, whatever, not really work really efficiently. And I was always looking for that. And that's also why I've created a community. It's completely free that you can join, and you're going to be able to have an environment that gives you what is necessary, these systems, these inputs, to actually stay dedicated to your craft and master your mind and life, so you can see this level of success that I'm portraying to you here. I haven't made billions of dollars online, but I mean, that's not really beneficial anyways. I'm just one step ahead and I know exactly what you're going through. I've been in that same position literally like last year. So if you want, just click the first link in the description and you can join that community. So you can start controlling your influences and inputs and actually be able to master your mind and life to find true success and fulfillment in it. I'm not just going to leave you with that. I want to share with you what I'm going to be doing to ensure that I achieve exactly what I set out to do. A lot has changed, but I know that so much more will within the next year. The reason with this being is the first concept that you need to apply to your mind, and that is belief. You need to have 1000% conviction in what you do and why you are doing it. You can't just be, kind of, maybe I might make some money. Hopefully, that's a possibility to have. No, you have to say with a definite and quantifiable amount what you're going to make and how you're going to make it, right? So you can't just say, oh, well, maybe possibly help. You need to set out the exact amount of money you're going to make or the exact thing you're going to accomplish. And then with that burning desire, you have to have 100% faith. So with no doubt in your mind, I try to create doubt in my mind. Like I try to have some doubt that I won't achieve this level that I have told you about. But I can't because I have conviction in what I'm going to do because I believe in my own capabilities. But why would you? If you sit around, I mean, I procrastinate too, right? But if you just sat around and didn't do anything about your procrastination, you indulged into bad habits you clearly knew were not beneficial for you at all, yet you continued to do this and you didn't really make any progress, masking your lack of action with these technological band-aids, as I call them, without being able to truly understand the path that you're going to take because you haven't set it out anyways. Nothing happens on accident, and that's what you need to drill into your minds. Think about any Olympic sprinter or any honestly Olympic anything at all, like any high level athlete. They didn't get there by accident. They trained day in and day out for 20, 10, like 15, 20, 25 years. And they got a coach, somebody who knew what they were doing, got people to the place they wanted to be. And then they were able to coach them to do the right things so they can get the right results. And then they pushed and pushed even harder. So they did the right actions and they actually moved the boat forward. Think about it like this: there's two boats. One guy could be the best sailor in the world. But if he's in a little crappy wooden boat that has like terrible rows and he doesn't row the boat, then he's not going to get anywhere. But if the other guy who just learned to sail, maybe, or just learned how to drive a boat, whatever, is in a yacht that goes like 200, or maybe let's talk about like a speedboat that goes like 200 miles an hour and something crazy. He just has to press down a little bit and boom, he's off. That's like you switching from business model to business model to business model, or doing one thing to the next, trying to find the perfect hack. Well, that doesn't really matter if you're not doing the right actions or you're not in the right boat to get you to where you want to be. So you have to row your boats or get it moving forward to get yourself to the place that you wanted to be. Second concept, nothing happens by accident. Then third is continuous growth and development. You can't change and you can't continuously like compound your success if you don't learn the necessary actions to be able to get to where you want to be. So you have to set out time in your day to be able to learn and then learn how to learn effectively so you can get to that point where you want to be. Do you think any big entrepreneur, by the way, I've studied tons, Alex Hormozy, Luke Bellamar. I mean, I know guys who have made tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I've connected with them, talked to them on calls, and they didn't get there by just watching some Andrew Tate podcast. I do that myself sometimes, to be honest. I'm in the car or whatever, listening to it. Point is, they didn't get there by just watching some Andrew Tate podcast. And then they didn't get there by reading a heinous amount of books and then doing no action. They continued to learn, but they learned effectively and they knew that they had to implement that into their life in order to see results. Just about like, oh, here's another book, whatever. They took what they needed and they set out a plan. Remember back to what I was saying before, and they knew that nothing would happen on accident. So then they took accountability over that to be able to see crazy results. That leads to the next thing that I'm talking about. I'm going to be talking about on how you can, and I'm going to get to the specific place you want to be. Taking extreme ownership over everything that happens in your life. Everything is your fault, no matter you want to accept it or not. Because where does like your reality, where does things that you do or things that happen to you come from? It comes from your actions, right? So what you put into it, that's it. I mean, it's your fault. Your actions put you into your place. And what does shapes that, right? So let's backtrack all the way to perception. Perception is actually what shapes your reality and shapes the place you are in life. And this happens because perception determines the thoughts that you think. Because if you perceive the world a specific way, like you before mentally, before you put on your shoes, you think that you're going to put on like your shoes, you see everything before it happens. So then you need to be able to perceive things differently so you can think different thoughts. And then that will lead to you being able to perceive more opportunities and then have more decisions to make, better decisions to make, and then better actions to take to getting you to the place you want to be. So then if you want to truly grow, you have to take accountability and extreme ownership over that fact and change the perceptions that you think. Now imagine if you were going to go put on your shoes and you think that you're going to just slide on your shoe and walk out the door. But what if instead you chucked the shoe at the window, you climbed out the window, and then instead of getting in your car, you didn't actually put on your shoes at all. You just walked barefoot to the store or whatever, wherever else you were going. Or let's say you had the shoes, right? You're going to go put on the shoe. Okay, but then you decided not to for a second. You're like, how about instead I bring the shoe upstairs and put a little bit of dirt in it, put a plant in there. And then now that's a new pot for your room or something to have it planted. The point is you need to be able to perceive different things so that way new opportunities, because that's an opportunity that you can go, maybe you walk barefoot and that increases your discipline or your endurance, whatever. Point is it gives you more opportunities and you make that decision and then you actually take that action because you make the decision to act on the opportunity, then you actually take that action and that gets you to a different place in life. That's what I wanted to end off with. Join my Discord server if you do truly want to get these things done. And honestly, just me or DM me or something, and I'll take you through a free coaching call explaining more about these concepts if you're interested. That's all. See you on the next one. Peace out.